Okay, Kerala was also one of the states wherein we saw such problems. What are the main issues that the governor office is relating to? Why it is creating federal problems?
The fundamental issue emanates from the fact that the governor is the de facto nominal head of the state, but is appointed by the president. When it comes to opposition ruled states, there seems to be a non agreement when it comes to bills. The Supreme Court believes that the governor should not sit on the bills as per Article 200. The bills should be passed as soon as possible, or it should be sent back to the legislature as the process is given. So I believe a problem comes when the bills are being not signed and being sat on for much longer. So it deadlock with the legislature. So I believe some of the recommendations given by Sarkari and Punji Commission when it comes to governor and the state legislature working collaboratively and keeping the interest of the larger citizenry at the heart of it could solve many problems. The recent in Kerala, the governor and legislature actually reached a consensus on the university vice chancellor appointment without leading to a prolonged litigation. So some of such measures should be taken so that we actually solve the deadlock.
Okay, so what is the concluding position of Supreme Court on governor's power of giving assent to the bills?
Earlier, the Supreme Court had ruled that it should be done within 3 months. Based on the presidential reference, they had said that it might not be possible to create a strict deadline for the governor. So I believe both should act in the spirit of Constitution and what the Constitution says. The strict timeline has been done away with as of now, sir.
Okay, fine. Uh, in November of last year, the Finance Commission it submitted its report to the president. Okay, and that would be placed before the Parliament, and then it will be in the public domain. If you see the previous Finance Commission report, 15 Finance Commission reports, it resulted into some kind of federal challenges, especially between the states in South and states in North. Okay, so what were the parameters on which there was a disagreement?
So the disagreement emanated from the fact that one was the cess and surcharge was not devolved to the states. Second was the population criteria, which was used by the Finance Commission. So the southern states, which had almost reached a replacement fertility level, had an issue that the population seems to be have a higher criteria when it comes to devolution of funds. So rather than the population-based criteria, they had demanded a proportionate system based on the taxation contributions, which was given by the southern states. So apart from that, the southern states, all the states in totality had also demanded that the devolution amount should be increased because even though 41% is a devolved share, the actual dispersal reached to around 28%. So that has been a concern.
Okay, thank you, Smita. Thank you.
Smita, it's a pleasure talking to you. As expected, you possess very good communication skills and you're able to put across your viewpoint very effectively. And I mean, even like one thing that comes out is you are very, very frank about your answers. And if you don't know something, so you are very clear. So only thing is, uh, that since the time is on your side and it's on 11th February, so one is that your interview will be after the budget, and you are a, economics honor student from LSR, so expectations on economics front can be, quite high. So you have to be very well prepared on budget, but you answered that question about Viksit Bharat, those figures were absolutely right. And so on budget, economic survey, and different outlays, the taxation reform that we have carried out, fiscal deficit, monetary policy. So all these issues you will have to work on, and then broad outlays which are there for different sectors. So you will have to work on that. And then both your parents are in education, so on education policy, highlights of the new education policy, and then related questions to that are with regard to demographic dividend. On Kerala, generally, like, those questions, you answered them well, but they can be little more focused, like on the figures, on the GSDP, what is the contribution of different sectors. To me, like, I think tourism plays a very important role in Kerala's economy. And of course, other issue is the remittances that you get from the outside. So you have to, and then since you are from the Jawaharlal Nehru University, then the issues of questions on student politics and the recent, I mean, FIR that has been lodged against the students, who have, been speaking against the Prime Minister and the Home Minister. And then also a recent issue where, I mean, the two students have not been given the bail, whereas five others have been given the bail. So all this you will have to, work on. And then another issue I could find was that, gender issues, like you were on a debate reclaiming public space for women. So that can be another issue. But overall, like, it's very good, and it's unfortunate that you were not able to make to the interview stage earlier, but otherwise I think you should do very well in the interview. And just like, time is there, make a full utilization of it. And you have to think that, you have to work harder than what you have worked for the mains, because it's a highly competitive environment. And since after studying from LSR and other, the expectation level is generally higher. Okay, so that's it. And extracurricular hobbies, so it's full of it. So you just have to identify the keywords and just anticipate what kind of a questions can be asked. Since like NSS versus NCC, what exactly you did in NSS, then again spiritual meditation, community engagement. So there are a lot of keywords, and so you have to, work on them. But otherwise, you were very good, and wishing you all the best, and hope to see your name in the list. Okay, all the best.
Yeah, good afternoon, Smitha. There is no doubt that you were quite good. You are very confident. But please remember, that is because you are giving it virtually, you are in your comfort zone. So giving an interview virtually and giving it physically are two different aspects. So if you have time and if you can, please make it a point that please come a little early and try and give at least one or two physical mock interviews. That will be very good. Otherwise, you are very confident, very well articulated. Knowledge wise, yes, for an SIS student, knowledge on Myanmar happening in neighborhood, you need to be a little more OPE, because please understand, when you go, you will have a new government in Myanmar. Bangladesh would be about to go for elections. We have already had in the neighborhood too many things. US has already gone into Venezuela, and Iran is on the verge. So there is a lot happening internationally, and you are an SIS student. So there'll be so many questions that can come, from Russia-Ukraine war to Gaza peace deal to Venezuela to Iran to Armenia, Azerbaijan, then to Pakistan, which is, of course, a permanent, perpetual issue which can always be raised. And since you are from Kerala, Sri Lanka could also be asked. Sri Lanka, Maldives come naturally as questions for you. Nepal is also going through elections, so will be there. I did ask you about India, China, and India, US. It will be better if you could give a bullet point thing, like India, China, border dispute. Give the genesis of border dispute. What is it? Eastern, Western, Central zone, if they ask. Second is LAC. Then come to the border management. LAC is a consequence of border management. It's not, LAC is not the sole. LAC emerges because there is a border dispute already existing. Trade imbalance. Those are issues. Then Tibetan issue. All these issues which are there, that should come out. Similarly with US. Tariff issues, visas, Trump's claim for India, Pakistan, Op Sindoor, etc. So all these issues, because India, US, India, China, these are critical relationships which will be asked. Another thing which can be asked is United Nations. Now, after Trump's attempt in Venezuela, he's talking of Iran. You could see Iran also. You never know what happens next. So is United Nations losing its relevance? Is it going the League of Nations way? those are questions which would come. And since you are both a student of economic and politics, you are bound to be asked some questions on tariffs, GST, uh, and also WTO appellate body not being formed, and as a result, WTO virtually being defunct for quite some time. All these questions, to my mind, would come to you. But let me put it very clearly: you are very confident, very articulate. But again, as I said, sitting in your home, in your comfort zone, and talking is different. Coming and facing a panel and then talking is a different issue. So I feel for you, you're doing very well, and I'm confident that if you speak the way you have spoken on Zoom in front of a panel, you'll do very well. But I would recommend that at least one odd mock interview you should do. You are very confident, very nice. In case you have any questions from me or from anyone, you can tell before I give it to the next panelist.
I understood the parts. I understood the topics also which I should prepare. I had one question when it comes to economics. Which newspaper should I actually focus on? I'm reading general newspapers, but for economics related topics, since budget is also coming up,
I
which
thought Mint was a good paper, which gives you economics also coupled with politics. Though, of course, Economic Times is equally good, but I find Mint as a very good newspaper, actually. That's what I feel. But others can give. You are in Kottayam, so you might be getting Business Line. I'm not sure whether you get Mint there or not. You might get online Mint, but just see. I found Mint to be quite good as far as economics was concerned, because it has a good, fair mix of economics and politics, which is, I think, what is required. Because uh, Economic Times sometimes goes deep into economics without looking into the political overhang. So that is what I was trying to see.
also I am coming to Delhi by January. Since this was the last panel organized by Shubhra Ranjan, that's why I opted for a Zoom session. But I'm actually coming to Delhi and
I'm
prepare.
actually telling them that they should do one at least physical session, maybe in early Feb or end Jan, so that some people can, if somebody wants to do it, because this sort of a thing, not doing it is not good to my mind. And in case you have, if you can't, if they're not organizing, you can personally contact me. I think you can get the number. And if you have something, because IR related issues, you may probably like to. You are coming when? On 3rd, we are doing a session on Venezuela at Habitat Center. So maybe you may like to come and attend. There will be a panel discussion if you are coming before that.
Book my ticket accordingly. I have only to book the onboard ticket, which is on 27th. So I will also see that I could attend.
Thank you.
Okay. So Smita, according to me also it was quite good. Okay, so knowledge-wise, you answered all the questions that were asked. At certain point of time, I also felt that along with your arguments, you could have given numbers so that things can be objective. For example, the women representation, as sir was telling that some bullet points are required, so that by the time you finish your answer, the person who has asked the question would know that these are 4 5 points that you have told to the person. Okay. You are asking about economy. So, as sir rightly said, you can refer to the Mint newspaper online, or for looking into the economic issues for past 2 months, you can refer to any of the compilation. It will just give you that what has happened. Compilation means the any of the institutes monthly magazine, just the economy part of it, so that whatever has happened for last 2 months, at least you can get a grip of it. Okay. When are you coming to Delhi? When are you planning to come?
27th of Jan.
27th of Jan. So do one thing, that once you come to Delhi, visit the institute. If we are having the mock interviews, we'll having it in the offline mode. Otherwise, we can have one session of yours with Shubhra ma'am also. That will be 1 to 1. So I think that will give you. And plus, I'll also send you the contact number of Bansal sir. So if you want to contact him, he will help you on the IR question. So that will be equally good. So just do one thing. Once you come to Delhi, just visit institute once. Don't worry, we'll be arranging everything. Okay. and you're quite confident. Just maintain it. Okay, all the best.